My childhood stopped the instant that my sister grew out of it, who was 6 years older than I am. That's the first time I realized that people who were looking at you for too long weren't always appreciating God's beauty. When I first came to Malaysia, this country was supposed to be my escape, not a place where I constantly felt like I was in a rape house. It's hard to be on your own. I remember the first few nights, I would be so afraid that I'd pretend that I'm talking on the phone when I'd be all alone and it was dark at night. I remember the drum beating inside my chest, not giving my breath any rest, because I knew that if I didn't walk too fast, someone would be behind me, and that certainly always was, not giving me a reason to pause, because if I don't know you, then I have the right to not talk to you, in the fear that today I might talk to you, tomorrow you might touch me, and the third day, I don't know where the hell I'll be. When I tell my friends about these experiences, they are shocked. They're like, dude, you're out of Pakistan, what harassment are you talking about? No. The more globalized we're getting, the more globalized harassment is. Trust me, because I've had my share of every damn nationality, they're all taught the same. No one's taught the difference between complimenting, admiring, and crossing the line to becoming straight creepy. This is for the man yesterday. The man in the lift who came inches close to my face, so close that I could smell the liquor in his breath, asked me to check his number on it and said, "You're fucking pretty." First, fuck you. I know I'm pretty. Tell me that when you're not drunk. I don't think that you look like a hunk with your messy hair and your stinky shirt. Secondly, I do not understand your language, but I am an expert at tone, so I can understand what you're saying and what you meant, because I cannot understand the alien words that come out of your mouth, but tone is something that cannot be disguised. So it made me feel like I was standing naked in the little corner that we had, even though I was fully clothed, and I tried to pull down my sleeves, afraid that maybe I was showing too much skin, but it shouldn't matter what I wear. You shouldn't bloody stare. Thirdly, if you were in the lift of my apartment, then I believe that either you go to my university or you go to university nearby, which means that you are as educated as I am. And it makes me feel pity that you learn to say pretty that way. I guess not all values can be taught from a book. You learn them when you grow. So you've obviously been growing up the wrong way, or you still have a lot of growing up to do. And another thing that I know is that I'm not a very strong feminist person who carries our boards talking about women's rights and how men suck, but I do very strongly believe in equality. And if I don't talk to you looking down there, then you have no bloody right to look at me and talk here. Because if I don't dress myself head to toe for someone who sits right up there, then who the hell are you to be the reason that I do? Fourthly, one portion is never equal to the whole, even if that portion is raining down. So I do not believe that all men are the same. For these values that I talk about, they were taught to me by a woman as well as a man. And if the guys that I choose to hang around with do not rate me with their eyes every time that I walk by, then you too have a choice not to. But you didn't make that choice. You made me feel helpless. I could feel your fingers crawling over my body, and I tried to replay in my mind all the taekwondo moves that I learned 5th grade summer camp, thinking that maybe if I just kicked you too hard in the wrong place, you'd lose and I'd win. But I'd already lost, for all you had to do to make me feel this weak was look at me. He laughed and enjoyed your accomplishment friend when he saw that I shunned into my little corner, wondering how few minutes could seem like hours. I'm not here to preach a lesson between what is right and what is wrong, but I believe that a bunch of guys like you go on Facebook and like the page that stands against rape, thinking that your job is done. But sexual harassment is a lot wider than that, and the day that you stand against that